I absolutely love this fire emoji. Ooh, look at now my chair's on fire. My hands are on fire. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Day 1077 of What's She Up To Now, documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world and all the other trials and tribulations and stuff that goes on with respect to that. And I think I picked the fire one because I woke up thinking about, believe it or not, systemic things. And then I realized it's just systemic evil. It's not um, and whatever it is, systemic anything. Now, I'm a systems gal. I love systems. I'm all about processes and systems and habits and routines and doing something every day to move you toward what you want, not toward what you don't want. To me, everything can be used for good or it can be used for evil, systems included. And I thought, well, systemic racism, systemic um, issues with, systemic poverty, systemic homelessness, systemic whatever, and systemic abuse, systemic prejudice, systemic whatever. And I thought, well, it's all evil. It's all things that we say we don't want more of, yet we are creating systems and have created systems over the decades and sometimes centuries that actually create more of it. Think of war. Whenever there's a war on anything, it never gets the results we want. It just gets war on it and continued war and infighting on it. So if we say we want to have a war on drugs, guess what we get? We get tons more challenges and problems associated with drugs than if we find ways to not combat the problem, but to deal with the situations, deal with the root causes of drugs and drug abuse and things. Instead, what happens? We deal with people that take prescription drugs in a similar form, and then we penalize them instead of actually going after the criminals and the drug dealers and the people that are doing illegal things. We see it time and time again in our world, and it's all, to me, an example of systemic evil. You know, negative information overload, sharing only negative information, propagandizing news media and the media, censorship, all of these things stem from evil. And there's a whole lot of other things I could get into, but a lot of those are my personal opinion. What I think is evil isn't necessarily what someone else thinks is evil. And therein lies the challenge in everything in life, right? My reality isn't the same as your reality. And if we each 100% believe that our reality is the only reality and the only right way to be, then it causes conflict. And I think that there is this huge, kind of scary, not even undertowing anymore. It used to be kind of a quiet underpinning of behavior. Now it's right blatantly out in the open that if we can keep you controlled and in fear and locked down and not knowing what's really going on, then you're going to start to fear one another. And when we start to fear one another, that's when we get in trouble, because we are not each other's enemy, no matter who tries to tell us that we are. I've been watching friendships and people that I have respected for years fall away because of their beliefs, and that they don't want to listen to anyone else or treat other people with respect. The United States, to me, what's happened in the last year is, it's mind-boggling and heartbreaking all at once, and stems from systemic evil. It doesn't stem from people wanting to do the right thing for other people, people wanting to be kind and courteous and treat one another with dignity and respect. It all stems from the exact opposite from that. It stems from power and control and wanting to hurt and harm other people, and maybe not even hurt and harm other people, but just elevate oneself and make oneself better or superior, or judging other people. All wrong stuff in my book, right? Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge other people's beliefs? I really don't have any right to judge other people's beliefs. I only have the right to judge and work on and continually improve my own thoughts and beliefs and behaviors. So that's what I woke up thinking today, because it's just been some craziness going on, and it's felt a lot like we don't live in the United States of America anymore. And to me, that doesn't feel good, because I've always been so proud to live here and proud to be a part of the great melting pot. I mean, you grew up in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s when we were this, well, I don't know, I suppose stuff started to go down in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, right when I was born. Maybe that's when well, and the systemic evils. Evil has been around since the beginning of time, right? There's always been good and evil. We live in this polar universe, and to think that one or the other is just going to disappear is very unrealistic, and it's not going to happen. But it doesn't mean that we, any of us, in our lives or in our businesses or in our world, need to tolerate systemic evil. Evil's evil, and we can always fight against it. Just like we always want to strive to be good, kind, amazing human beings who love and take care of one another, not who harm or put down or judge or criticize or make stuff up about other people or assume other people's intentions or assume things about them based on one word or twisting people's words. I mean, we've seen it all this last year. It's just unacceptable. All right, off that soapbox, what's going on? Finished the 365 day, which was 366 days, do one fun thing every day challenge yesterday. That was fun to wrap that up. We just did a little rate your life right now on the awesomeness scale from 0 to 10. How awesome is your life? We did it at the beginning of the challenge on January 8th of 2020, and then we did it on January 8th of 2021. Now I'm doing the 365 day all about you, do one thing every day that centers you challenge. And this one's a little different. This one, I love personal development stuff. I love that kind of thing. But this one is stuff that's probably, it's not going to make me uncomfortable to do, but it makes me a little uncomfortable to share. Because whenever we're doing inner work and work on ourselves and becoming hopefully better human beings, it can get uncomfortable. So we're only on day 9 today, and it wasn't very uncomfortable. It was about being kinder, which kind of ties into my whole thought process. And my idiom for today for the Supersize Your Business group and page was the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Now, isn't that the truth, right? And I used my granddaughter's little tractor to have a squeaky wheel, because how true is that? And it's true in everything. People are attracted to negative attention. Negative news has been negative news. Why? Because it gets people's attention. When you hear a negative, outrageous headline, whether it's true or not, you stop in your tracks, you stop washing dishes, you pay attention, you stop scrolling on your phone or your computer, and you read that article, you read that story. I still do, and I was in journalism back in the 70s, back in the 1970s. So it works, and things that work continue to be used, whether they're good or not, whether they're for good or evil or not, they tend to perpetuate. Think of different advertising strategies and things that had to literally be outlawed because they were misleading people and misrepresenting what it was that a vendor had to offer. Remember the old days of buyer beware? Nowadays, I think it's observer beware. Beware of what you're hearing and what you're seeing, and step back and say, well, does this make sense? Does this actually make sense? Is this probably the truth? Because we're not reporting the truth anymore. We're not reporting facts. The whole who, what, where, when, why, and how. It's one of my favorite frameworks, and it's pretty much gone out the window. It's what soundbite is going to get us the most viewers and the most attention and the most eyeballs. The internet has done amazing things, but from that standpoint, it has made us chasers of numbers, chasers of number of likes or followers. And as we seek followers and likes and our own fame and fortune and influence, we get diluted. Power corrupts. We talked about this as an idiom not too long ago. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We're seeing examples of it run rampant all around us, globally as well as even in our own country. And it's crazy, but negative attention, whether it's right or wrong, it tends to work. I mean, that's why we have bombings and serial killers and mass murderers and kidnappings and abuse and things, is because in rapes and robberies and riots and fires and burning and whatever, is because, and if you look into it, the vast majority of those people do it for the attention. They want to get attention to something. Just watched the Unabomber series with the kids last week or so, and it was someone who is unnoticed and just wanted attention. Pathetic and sad and evil as that is, that was the story, basically the underlying story of the Unabomber. There was one before that. We watched another one too that was like a terrorist bombing. Oh, the Atlanta bombing, the bombing of the Olympics in Atlanta. We watched that story and how that played out. That was just sad and pathetic, and it makes us question the underpinnings of people's ethics at any level of life. You know, we see dysfunction in any organization, whether it's a religious organization. I mean, I'm a Catholic. Boy, we've seen dysfunction there, and in our governments. And apparently, the United States government is just as susceptible to the systemic challenges of evil and corruption and power corrupting and greed and not doing the right thing as a lot of other countries' leaders are. So we're not going to be disillusioned. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to make sure that America stays the great America no matter what, and that we all be role models for the rest of the world, because I think that's what we're supposed to be doing. I think that's what Americans and those of us who teach and train and coach and consult and help other people, we need to be leaders of the things that we want to convey, the things we want to see. And that would be not systemic evil, that would be systemic good. Those are the things I'm thinking about today. I need to do another Get Up and Go challenge or another something 30 plus day challenge. I'm going to be on Molly, I don't even know, her name is Dorse, Molly Dorse, but she's got it backwards on her name for her page and stuff. For some reason, I'm not remembering her podcast. I'm going to be on her podcast Monday, and that'll be fun. We'll be talking about challenges. And I'm in between challenges. I mean, I'm doing other people's challenges, but I'm in between doing my own. And I get the most value out of doing my own. So I'll be doing that again soon. And probably the Get Up and Go challenge, because I think we still need to get up and go in 2021. Not a lot has changed since 2020 with respect to COVID and businesses and shutdowns and lockdowns and things. And I think that we still need to keep moving forward in our businesses and our lives, no matter what is going on around us, so that we do keep making progress toward what it is that we want. So back to the SOAP framework we go. All right, if I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm going to reupholster a chair today, thus the rolled up sleeves. Have an amazing day, and I'll of course see you tomorrow.